I'm happy. Are you happy? These guys are definitely happy. But if you want to get a happy ghast, this is what you gotta do. First, find another portal. Then you gotta go to the nether and find a soul sand biome. Which, if you know me, this is my least favorite biome, but now it's kind of making me not hate it. But you're gonna want to keep your eyes open for fossils like this, because hiding around these fossils you can find the dried ghast. But if you can't find a soul sand biome, find a piglin and barter with it, and you might get a chance of getting a dried ghast from them. But if you're still having trouble finding that, you can always use 8 ghast here and a soul soil block. Go ahead and find a crafting table, put the soul soil in the center, and put your ghast tiers on the outside to get a dried ghast. Next, you're going to take that dried ghast and you're going to waterlog it. You'll have to wait about 20 minutes for this thing to actually turn into what's called a ghastling. But you can see that over time, it will change its appearance and even get a little bit of a smile. While we wait for the ghastling, it's good to know that happy ghast loves snowballs. So it might be good to keep a snow golem around so you can easily collect them and make them very happy. But once the 20 minutes are up, we get this lovely guy. If you don't want him floating around too much, go ahead and grab a lead and you can attach him to a fence so he'll stay fairly close, but they also don't wander off too far anyway. Now to get a ghastling to be a happy ghast, you have to wait another 20 minutes. But like I said, they do love snowballs, so you can feed them to them and speed up the process. Once you have your happy ghast, can't really do much with them right now. So you're going to want to craft a harness. And to do that, you'll need 3 leather, 2 pieces of glass, and a colored wool of your choice. To craft it, go into your crafting table, place the leather in a row just like so, the 2 glass on the side like this, and your colored wool of choice to get the harness. Then take that harness, place it on the happy ghast, and you can right click on it and fly it around as your own personal hot air balloon. Whenever you see a happy ghast and its goggles are down, it means that a player is on it. So keep that in mind if you're on a multiplayer server. So one idea that was floating around when the happy ghast was introduced was using it as an elevator. If we place it in a structure similar to this and right click, we can easily go up by holding the space bar. This is also very slow compared to like a bubble elevator. But then once we get to the top, we can dismount and it will be there as a platform for us to stand on, which I think is really handy. Now, please don't knock my elevator design. This is just a concept. This is probably not something I would actually build. But hopefully you get the point. Another concept I saw was them being used as an actual train. Now, when I saw this in use by another Minecraft player, it looked a lot cooler. I don't know how they did it. I can't figure it out. They're just kind of bouncing all over the place. So I think it's a cool idea, but I don't know how to make it functional. So if you know how to, let me know in the comments down below. Another great thing about the happy ghast is we can now use leads to attach different mobs and entities to them. My favorite being the boat. But we can attach the camel, which then makes it able for us to carry around villagers or other players while he flies around. I love the animation of the camel walking as he's flying. It looks like he's enjoying it. We can also attach the sniffer, who I don't think is having as good of a time as the camel. But like I said, my favorite functionality for this is the boat, which we could also put mobs and villagers into to transport them around. I've been asking for years for a tameable flying mob, and the happy ghast definitely lives up to that because he won't go too far, he's always happy, and he can fly even though it's really slow. Speaking of slow, it's a very slow way of getting around the end dimension. If we take a water bucket and a dried ghast into the end, we can then place that down and waterlog it so that way it can hydrate and become a happy ghast, but in the end. And if we throw a harness on it, we have our mode of transport to fly out over the void. Now, I did test this out. It does take quite a while, but I think it's a lot better than using cobblestone to bridge across. From my test, it takes roughly about 4.5 minutes. But I think that also depends on what end islands decide to show up. I do think this is a viable option, and I will be using it in survival. Also, just a quick note, though the happy ghast originated in the nether, they are not immune to fire. So please be careful and keep them out. And another favorite feature of mine is that if you are flying on a happy ghast and you need to build up high, they will not move, and you can use them as a platform to then build from, which I think is super awesome if you want to build really tall but you haven't gotten elytra yet. But that is everything you need to know about the Happy Ghast. Let me know in the comments down below. Will you be using it? But now that you're an expert on the Happy Ghast, maybe you want to check out my survival series in my Forever world. If you want to do that, click the video in the top right corner. But that's enough out of me. See you next time.